Okay, welcome everybody to Coffee and Art on Hump Day. Mike. So anyway, I want to finish this out of Moon Blossoms. We've done 2 parts on this one so far, and I want to finish her up today. So this will be the last part, even if we don't finish it. But what I'm seeing here is a lot of gold and silver. She's all covered in jewels and beads, and I'm imagining these beads are silver or gold beads. I probably need, let me kind of zoom in maybe one more here. Maybe that, hopefully. Oops, gotta get my hand out of the way. Okay. So I want to finish this today. And what I'm thinking is, because it's all gold and silver, I think I'm going to do yellow ochre and a light gray on all the jewels. And then I'm going to go over it with the stickles. I want to do it with the diamond or the stardust or a diamond. And if I don't, then I'll go with the ice stickles. I mean, I don't know how much is left in that one. So I need to replenish my stickles. Oh, okay. So, and then this is some kind of a fabric. It almost could be fur. I'm not sure what that is, or gold lame or something like that. But I'm pretty much gonna do all of her jewels and everything in gold and silver. Then she has a floral kimono on. Or wait, let's see where this ends. Is that the background? No, that's part of her clothes. That's her sleeve right there. So this is her sleeve, and that's some kind of a flap of a fabric right there. And so yeah, so thanks everybody for being here. This is a live show on Ustream. If you're watching on YouTube, the recording, I'm talking to mostly awake people. Jean had to run to the store, so she's awake. Hey, Shalene, anybody else popping in? Thanks, Terry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with all these. I'm just going to get a coat of gray, light gray, on all these balls. I'm imagining them as silver balls, kind of like the Native American have their silver and turquoise. I'm kind of imagining these to be like those kind of, there's a name for those kind of that jewelry too, with the turquoise and the silver balls. I have an old bracelet somewhere around here that has those in it. But anyway, I just really want to get them gray and a little bit of shading, and then it's going to have stickles on it. Can y'all see? Do I need to zoom in more? I might need to zoom in more. I don't know. Let's see. Now if I can focus it. Hopefully. There. So if y'all have any questions, put them in caps, so I know you're talking to me. So I'm going to get all these little beads. I'm going to just think of them as silver beads. And then I want all this to be, it might be kind of a brass thing. I don't know. I'm sure it's not pure gold when they wear these, their native, you know, their country's costumes and stuff, no matter what era it was in. But, and these little earrings here. But I'm going to do it with a gold color, whether they were brass or gold or whatever. All right, so I think I need to move my camera, tilt it down just a little so I keep it close to me. So I can't put the stickles on till the end, because so it's going to probably look a little dull for a while, because then you're getting your hand all in it. If I get everything done in the middle, I can turn and stuff, but I'd rather just, you know, put that on at the end. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, so again, I'm just going to put yellow ochre over all this area. I'm just trying to define where the gold and silver is. I might put some little like white dots of gel pen, or what do you call it, a Posca pen, to kind of brighten up some of this, and then go back over it again with the yellow ochre. So I'm trying to see, this is a sleeve here, and this is a fabric flap, like from this. I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to think of it as like maybe some kind of a gold lame something. So I'm going with gold on that. And it's all going to be shiny. It's all going to be glittery. Well, it's not, thanks, Jessica. And these little tassels, they're going to be gold. Everything's going to be gold and silver. These little hair things. Let me sharpen. I'm trying to stay in, I'm so zoomed in, but I am trying to stay in camera. Hey, Jen. Anybody else coming in? Okay, so holding the beads, the little filigree things that hold the beads. I know there's a name for it. I can't think of it right now. I'm going to have those all gold, and the in-between beads all gold. I'm going to keep it simple here as far as the jewels go. All gold and silver. And I'm thinking I might want to outline, I might even outline this in gold. I don't know if I have a gold pen. Otherwise it'll have to be white. I'd like to outline the whole thing in gold so I could do a dark color in here too. But I can't do the dark and dark right next to each other, or we'll lose the little frame. Let's see, I think I'll have this be silver in here, and that's silver. We'll lose the frame of it if we if I don't outline it with something. So that's golden there, for earrings here, and then I might have the hoops be silver, or yeah, hoops be silver. Go right over the top of her hair there. Something like that. And there's a jewel in her earrings. So yeah. That's part of the fabric. Trying to see where everything is. Then she'll maybe have some silver and gold on her. Then a ring. Let's make those rings gold. A couple of little jewels in there. Maybe we'll have some purple jewels. Maybe purple background would be good. Or purple in the flowers in the dress. Okay, let me keep looking. All right, now I'm going to get a little bit darker gray and just do a little bit of shading on some of this kind of green gray. Here we go. Hey, Palm. Anybody else popping in? Thanks for being here. I want to finish this page up today, and then maybe that's green. I don't want green. Hang on, guys. Let me erase that screen. That's blue. Hang on. I don't have gray. Oh, I just had a dark gray, and it went away. Let's get another one. Okay. Y'all talking about how much pressure you're putting on your coloring. I saw somebody say a heavy hand. I always wrote real hard with my pencil too. I still have a callus here. It's not as big as it used to be when I wrote a lot, when I did a lot of writing, or when I was in school. It was real big. But I've had that all my life. My mom does too. My mom has one. From writing, pressing so hard. But yeah. It's funny, I notice how people hold their pencils. Not that there's any right or wrong way. It's just funny that I notice it because, a lot of people are in the art community and streams and YouTube and you see a lot of hands. You see a lot of close up, there's some dress right back in there. You see a lot of hands close up, and so you notice how people hold their pencils and everything. I don't know if y'all notice it, but I do. And I'm trying to hold my pencil back so that I'm not like blocking the coloring. Hey Azure, how you doing? We're just finishing up this Moon Blossoms page, and I've got 2 parts already, so this will be part 3. This is going to be the last part, whether we finish it or not. I think we'll probably get close to finishing it, if not finishing it. But yeah, I want to get it done. I don't like to have my color book pages more than 3 parts, and that's really, I only like to have 2. But some pages, you know, they're really detailed, like the Bennett Kleins. They take a lot of parts to finish them. And then I got to finish my seasons, the blue face one with the seasons. Yeah, you do. You notice how they do? Y'all do notice? Do you cut pictures out of your hardboard color? Out of my, oh, hardbound coloring. No, I don't, Prisma, because most of those are back and front for one thing. They're not single-sided. So no, I don't cut those out. And those books are expensive, you know. You notice it too? Get bugged about it. I don't know. It's just odd how different people hold their pencils. And I don't know. Maybe it's just how are people being taught how to hold their pencils differently than when I was a kid? I don't know. Maybe I just missed something there. How long ago do we start? Well, I came on at 8:30, so about 30 minutes of chat, but I've only been recording for about 15 minutes, Azure. I've only been working about 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm looking through here to see where else is silver, and I'm going to go over all the jewels with stickles. All right, I think what I'm going to do is let's get a nice lavender or something that's going to show up purple or even cherry red. That may not be bright enough, like some rubies. Let's see, that's going to be raspberry, but I don't know that that'll show up enough. Nah, I think it needed to be bright red, because otherwise it's just going to get lost in the darkness of it. So I probably need a nice red. Okay, let's sharpen this. For the jewels, at school there was one teacher who wanted me to sit in a particular way, square the desk and point at I don't know that it's that, I was ever that, in a school that was that strict. You had to sit certain ways and all that, but, you know. So I think I'm going to do rubies. It'll stand out from everything. Maybe some rubies on this bracelet right here. And then her earrings. And maybe this is a ruby jewel right in the middle there. And I think I'll go ahead and give her red fingernails instead of pink. Just because that'll make those areas stand out from the background. Oh my gosh. I never had that kind of school teacher that was that strict, Dot. Okay, so now I've got to decide the fabric color of her clothes. I'm still thinking, I want to go with purple. I don't know. Because I think purple would go pretty with the pink. Or do I just want a total contrast from the rest of this? Because this is all pink, greens, and yellows around the edge. So do I want this to be almost like a completely separate picture that has no color coordination to the rest of it? Know what I mean? And I do think I want to outline it in gold. See, I do have gold and silver pins, But I'm going to stickle this, so there was no reason to put gold and silver pen on here because it's going to be shiny with stickles. But if I'm going to outline this, I'm thinking I might need a gold pen. Where's my gold pens? So when I moved everything here, let's see. Here's one. Let's see. I'm thinking a gold pen all the way around. Could I recommend a good one-sided color book? Depends on what you want to cut out. That you want to cut out the pictures out of. Then if you want to cut the pictures out of, let's see if I can get this pen to work. This, I haven't used it in a long time. I got another one, this one. If you want to cut pictures out to like use in an art journal, let's see, this one's not wanting to play. Then you want a cheap one. Let's see what this is, how this will work. There we go. Let's just use this. I want to outline the whole thing, and I want it to be a little wider, almost like a border, a gold frame. And I might stickles that too. I might stickle the frame. You want a cheap color book, or I should say inexpensive. If you're going to cut it up, like maybe a Creative Haven. I cut a lot of my Creative Havens up. You think the flowers should coordinate with the background? Well, I want them to coordinate in a sense. I don't want them pink and yellow, but I'm thinking a color that'll go with it, like maybe, you know, like purple or something. So I just want to get some gold on here. I don't want to ruin this pen going over. I'm going over acrylic paint too, just a little, but still. I'm trying to stay in camera. I had to snap and clump room to collect them, so I took them without saying things. She said, "Say something," and I said, "No, what?" Oh, Dot. Dot's telling some of her school stories back in the day. Back in the day. So, yeah, that'll show up. See the gold around the edge? I gotta tilt it though a little so I can draw a straight line. See, it's always the details that I find to do, like little gold things or stickling or dotting or those little shady things. Those that make my pages take so long. See, I'm probably on right here on I'm on paint here, and it's not, my marker's not liking me being on paint. It's not happy being on paint. White flowers with purple accents. That would make it stand out. Of course, I'd have to shade them. Purple, you know, maybe some purple shading in them. See, I'm keep cleaning off my pen. Upside down. Yeah, and Dover has good. If you're just wanting books to cut up for art journals, so you have to. I don't know your purpose of wanting to cut them up. If that's what you mean, cutting them out to use in an art journal, or like my napkin journal where I cut them out. I'm not cutting those out of nice, you know, $25 color books. Let's put it that way. I'm not cutting those up to put in an art journal. Okay, there we go. Now I think I could use some gold stickles too on the border. See, I was just going to use regular stickles because the color will show through, but on this border, maybe gold. Do I have any gold? That's the question. Let's see. No gold in that one. No gold in this one. Cam had a project and he needed some glittery stuff. Sorry guys, I bumped into the camera. He might have taken the gold that I had. Oh, yes, I think this gold's almost gone. Now there might be enough in there to do a border. See, these are all upside down. That means they're like empty. I need to replace a couple colors like gold, my diamond, because that's the best one. If you're going to get any stickles, if you're going to get any color, get diamond, because diamond will show whatever color's underneath. So I'm going to leave that upside down like I had it, so that maybe I'll turn that one upside down too. I gotta say, Eileen, most of those are half empty, or if not almost completely empty. Yeah, so the only time I use stickles now is like little accents like this. Okay, now I've decided where all the gold and silver jewelry is going to be. So now I gotta decide on, almost could go with, you know, I have to consider two things. One, the background behind her, and also the background in her kimono. It's got to be two different things, or it's going to look like that's the background, you know? So it's got to be two different things. I don't know, Valerie, no. Not unless you have one in your area. I don't know who told you that. Okay, so let's see. Let me think. I almost wouldn't mind her clothing having turquoise. And I could probably just start with just a marker, like the Crayola markers. Hey Jean, welcome back, or welcome this morning. Or I could do it with a wash and keep it real light and then shade. I think I'm just going to go with this. I'm just going to go with turquoise. Dark turquoise. On the fabric anyway. And her kimono. Make it stand out really nice. Right in here. These markers, as long as you don't oversaturate, shouldn't go through. If you sit here and go, you know, color, 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 then you're wetting the page, oversaturating the page, and it can go through. Not that it matters on a one-sided like this, but I love my little Crayola super tip. They're like a bullet tip for color books. Okay, so there's that. Now I gotta kind of look around, see where her kimono. This is fabric. Gotta kind of dig around here in between. I want the background of the kimono. Then we'll decide on the flowers and the leaves. Oops, I gotta move back up here. I'm so zoomed in, guys. I have to be aware of where the camera, to stay on camera. Because I'm like, look how zoomed in I am. Well, see, the thing about the single-sided color book, I have so many that I don't put just one whole book in a binder. You know, it's not like I just have, you know, one particular book that I put in a binder. I'll put a Bennett Klein. I'll put, all right, then get maybe a Jasmine. Now, that is one book that is kind of a little on the expensive side. It's not a hardback, but Jasmine's books are one-sided. And I do cut those out and put them in a binder. I'll show you what I have in a binder if I have a minute when we get done with this. I'll show you which color books I have in a binder. Maybe that'll help. But if you just want to have the pages, save the pages, then you'll have to find a one-sided color book that you like. If you're going to cut it all up and put it in a art journal, then you want an inexpensive color book so that you can just cut up the pages, like, you know, do the mermaids and fairies or something like that. I'll have to bring back out my binder and my napkin journal to show you when I get done with this. Here, let me just pull them out so I don't forget. Okay. All right, so I brought those out to show you when I'm done with this. But I do take my jasmines apart and put them in the binder. The Halloween one and her regular one. But I haven't taken apart a hardback one, I don't think. Not to my remembrance. Okay, that's background right here. So that's all her clothing. See, I wanted it to be distinguished from the rest of it. All right, so let's go up here. It's all the background of her clothing. Probably some there in her hair. Just going around the designs to color in. Gotta remember to stay in camera here. And then back behind some of these jewels. Yeah, pop manga is two-sided, but it also won't fit in sleeves. It's a square book that's, I think, 10 by 10 or 9 by 9. It won't fit in your standard 8.5 by 11 page protector. Now, if you have a binder that you're putting your pages in, that's a 12 by 12, then of course all your square books will fit in that too. If you're going to keep a binder for all your color book pages and you color a lot of larger, you know, bigger than your 8.5 by 11, and a lot of color books are the square ones, 9 by 9, 10 by 9, stuff like that, then if you want to put those in a binder, you're going to have to get a 12 by 12, you know, one of the 12 by 12 scrapbook binders to put those in, because the sleeves are too small for those books in your standard binder. Know what I mean, Vern? Okay, there's a little behind there. I'm just trying to find some of the what might be the background of her dress. Okay, I see a little bit where I missed some gold here. And another jewel right there. Hi, Vicky. Vicky S. Azure, just put that in your search in Amazon. It'll come up if there is. I don't know of any. Someone's asking if there's any other books like Moon Blossom with Asian themed. I can't think of. I mean, there probably is, but I can't think of them right now. Okay, so I'm thinking now that I decided where her clothing is. I might do a little bit of shading on some of the larger areas with like a peacock blue, peacock green, turquoise, anyway, darker turquoise over just like right under here on this sleeve. I don't know, it's some kind of a fabric sleeve, flap of fabric. It needs just a little bit of shading there, maybe just a little in here. And you can take all the time you want to, you know, shade every little nook and cranny. I'm just putting a little bit here and there because it's not really, doesn't really matter where. It's just like there's just some little bit darker areas where the fabric would fold or something. So just add a little bit here and there. Yeah, Creative Havens will fit in page protectors. Yes, they're your standard 8.5 by 11. But so many color books are, you know, 9 by 9, 9 by 10, maybe even 10 by 10. So, okay, so there we go. Okay, let me do her eyes. Let's put her eyes a little terracotta color in them just so that they show up. They're very tiny. You're not going to see much detail. And then maybe a highlight in it. And then also, let's go around her eyelashes. That's too big. I'll knock that back here as soon as that dries. And then her eyelashes with that's too big, a Sharpie pen or a permanent marker. Because a lot of the books, the black or the gray, now this is acrylic paint here, but a lot of books, you know, where it's black or gray, like her eyebrows or whatever, it's not, the ink is not real black. So if you go over it with a black pen, it makes it stand out. Hey, Cece. What are you working on, Jess? You said you're coloring. What are you coloring? And her pupil there. That's pretty good. What are you working on, Jess, color-wise? Oh, and I did watch Laura recorded where she did the Karlova, what's her name? Anyway, I have the one book. She got the new one, and that she really likes. So let's do a little gray right in there. Oh, that needs to be a blue gray. That she likes. That's nice that she got that, because I know that she's been looking to get that. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more highlights on her braids here with the blue, because they're not really standing out with that lighter blue or the darker blue that I put on there. So I'm going to go back over it with a little bit lighter blue on her braids, little X's and little lines on her braids, just to make them kind of stand out a little more than they are. Highlighting them. Is the paper in your book? No, it's loose. I tore it out. This particular book is perforated. The pages are perforated. And it's bigger than a 8.5 by 11. But because the pages are perforated and they're one-sided, that's why I tore it out. Let's see. This is bigger though. It is like 9 by 11. So again, this would have to go in a 12 by 12 sleeve, you know, or 12 by 12 binder, because it won't fit in your regular sleeves. I am waiting for Amazon to deliver. Jean. And didn't you get some glue or something too? You got a couple things, I think, Jean. I forget now. But because this is, like I said, perforated and one-sided, it's like meant to tear out. So they'll have to go in a 12 by 12 sleeve. Is the paper thin? No, it's not as thin as Bennett Klein. And I know we hate to say that we use Bennett Klein as an example because his books are probably the thinnest ones. Of course, you can buy his books digitally and print it out on any paper you want too. You know, I just color his pages on the thin paper. This paper, let me get one with no coloring on it. Yeah, it's thicker than copy paper. It's, you know, because when I say copy paper, I mean like as thin as Bennett Klein's. His books are very thin. It's thicker than that, but it's not that thick. But they're one-sided, so it really doesn't matter if it goes through. Got baby wipes. That's what it was, Jean. I knew it was something else. Okay. All right, so there, we got some highlights on our braids. And now, and again, I'm going to do all the gold and silver stickles. But let's see, I think I want a little bit of shadow. Let's see if yellow ochre is going to be. I need a little bit almost like maybe a sienna, just to have a little bit of, I just want a little bit of shading on the gold. I mean, just a little bit of, give it a little bit of depth, you know, a tiny bit of depth when I put the stickles over the top. I kind of overdid it with the tacky glue. Your main message, I was just glued all the pages shut. Okay, I don't know how you did that. If you just, did you get the glue from the spine over onto the pages? Is that what you're saying, Nat? Alright, so I want to get a little bit, if this is some kind of a fur thing or some kind of gold lame, or I don't know what it is, but it's going to be gold. It's going to have stickles on it too. So I just want a little bit of shading in there, because it's like filigree. All her jewelry is like filigree type, you know, embossed, punched filigree kind of designs all in there. And I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit of white and then go over that to make them stand out, some of those little filigree areas like this right here. Let's see what else. I hope I'm staying in camera, guys. Do coloring. Oh, I missed something, Valerie. You said on coloring in Bennett Klein books. I missed that. Watercoloring. Mel, if it's a one-sided page, here's the thing. I will watercolor, ink tints, water, neocolor on any paper, even thin Bennett Klein papers. I don't care if it buckles a little, and by the time you finish it, and it might buckle a little, but you can just flatten it out. Where do my binders, my 3-ring binders, just like my my standard 3-ring binders that I use for idea collecting and the notebook for my color book pages, get those at Staples. For the big 12 by 12 one, I get that at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, because they're scrapbook binders. But the 3-ring binders that are made for, that are scrapbook 12 by 12, the holes are punched the same as your standard 3-ring binder, if they're a ring binder. Now, I'm not talking about post-bound binders. I'm talking about 3-ring binders. When I back out, I'll show y'all again. I can't show that. I mean, all you'd see right here is one big ring, because we're so zoomed in. I think it's scroll away, but I'm coloring in Christopher Hart's manga artist coloring book Girls. Oh, okay. I haven't colored in my manga. I have a nice manga color book. Other than the pop manga, I have this one, Jess. And let's see, is it right here? Yeah, this one. And I haven't colored in this one yet. I'll leave it sitting here so I can show it, but I'm too zoomed in right now, guys. How would you color see-through glass? I've done some see-through glass jars, Palm. I can't remember which pages and what books right now. Yeah. I did a glass globe. Which book was that in? I'm still working on that page. Let me make a note to look. I can't do it right now, guys. I'm going to have too many. I want to finish this. Let me write glass globe, because I have a page I'm working on that I'll pull out after this. Okay, so I think, let me go in here with the white gel pen. I could go in there with the Posca or the gel pen. And you need it already. I'll show it when we're done, when I back out. Okay, so I think, let's see if this, which one's, I have one that's working and one that's not. Let's see if this one's working. I just want to put a little bit of where some of the gold might be shinier. And I don't even know if this is going to show up by the time I put the stickles on it. This may be like unnecessary, because the stickles might cover this up completely. But I'm just thinking I want a little bit extra brightness on some of the gold. So I'm going around the beads. Can you see that? See, I'm going around some of the beads with the white. Because then what I want to do is I'll go over that and make it, knock it back. I don't even know if I need to do that though, because I'm going to go over it with stickles. Maybe I should just leave it white so that when I go over it with the stickles, it shows. Because we might lose that detail. Okay, I think that needs to have some blue back in there. Because we might just completely lose these dots. The library, yeah, I think it might be in the library one, Mel. I think you're right. It could be in the library. I'll make a note of that. Library one? The mysterious library. I'm not sure. I think it could be. So I have a glass globe in that one. Okay, that's leaves. Mysterious library was where the globe was? Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. Maybe a little, because I'm thinking this is some gold lame tassel-y things here, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. What else? Maybe a little bit on the ring around her hoop earring here. And then there's one back there, but I'm not sure what color I'm going to do the background yet. Okay, so let's do these little things in her hair. Because I want these to be real shiny, you know? The girl in the woods is holding a globe. Okay, yeah, so it is the, yeah. Was it the Snow Queen? Is that what she was? Yeah, she's holding a snow globe. All right, so I'm highlighting some of that. Let's go down here. Do the same thing. This has got some little filigree. And then in no particular order. I guess I should kind of go with the row. But filigree here. Filigree belt thing here. Just a little swirly stuff in there. Yeah, that's what it was. All right, so we'll see what happens when I go over that with gold. All right, now, because I went with the brighter colors here and the less bright on the outside, I mean, they're still bright, but they're not like this turquoise color bright. I'm thinking that I should probably go with maybe even lime green leaves. And I could probably even go with, let me just, you know what, let's see. That's not lime enough. It's kind of, at least I need a brighter one, I think. Let's go with this color. Nice bright leaves on her kimono. You can do a little bit of shading with pencil. We're getting there, guys. Okay, that needs some turquoise right there. Leave right there. That's part of her belt. Oh, well, it's okay. Then leaf, leaf. Trying to distinguish between the leaf and the flowers. Not that it really matters. I mean, to me, it's all kind of, oh wait, no, I didn't need to do that. That's part of the background. That leaf is going to need to be a different color because I don't want it to look like part of her dress. So let's just ignore that. We'll go over that with another color. And get all these little leafy things here. In her kimono. I like that color combination. Oh, wait, wonderful, wonderful. Consider your bookshelves just have a wonderful. I missed something on that book, and someone said have a wonderful day, and they left. Sorry, it scrolled off. When you put a whole paragraph like that, guys, it's hard to read because it rolls off so quick. All right, let's see. Just that little bit of fabric shows there. Got all that. Okay, now the flowers. I might just want to shade, leave them kind of really white, but just a little bit of pink to them. It will kind of tie it in, because I still have these background flowers, which I don't want pink, because those are pink. I don't want them the same. So I'm thinking just the tiniest bit of pink in these flowers. Let's see. And leave them white, because that'll help them stand out. So if we just put a little bit of pink shadow. And it'll still tie in this, but just minimal. Okay, I might just need the tiniest bit of raspberry right on the edge. Just so they have a little bit of shading. Hi Kate, how you doing? Good to see you. Trying to finish up this Moon Blossom Girl, part 3. Yeah, see, just that. I'm going to leave that. So just pink and raspberry. Same colors that I used here, but just a little tiny bit of it. Okay, that's some leaves back there. Part of her oboe, is that what it's called? The band around her clothes, the big wide belt. Could be either one. It's hard to tell in this because it's so much. Thanks. Good to see you. All right, so again, this right here is part of the background. All right, I think that's all the flowers right there that's showing. All right, now real quick, I think I'm going to go here where I accidentally colored this leaf green. I'm going to go over it with white, kind of knock it back. I might have to make 2 coats because I think I'm going to do those yellow. I think I want the background leaves to be yellow. Remember, this is all going to get stickled here in a minute. All the silver and gold, this is all going to have stickles on it. And I think I'm going to outline the whole thing in gold stickles. That'll be the last thing I do. All right, this down here could almost be blue too, like right under that belt, I think, right there. Let's do a little bit more shading here. I'm liking the colors, I'm liking it. Okay, that's one of those little balls. Now I have to decide on the background, like I said. Do I want the leaves yellow and the flowers white again with just maybe a little bit of something other color? All right, I'm going to start with the leaves being yellow and then I'll shade them back. So do I have a yellow marker? Here's my Zig Kuretake sitting right here, so we'll just go with that. That's probably part of the flower there, not part of the leaf. Yeah, I'll go with that. Okay. So I'm going to do these leaves yellow and then I'll shade them. Again, I could be using my what do you call it, markers, Crayola ones, but this was just sitting here, so I'm going to use it. Leaf, leaf, leaf. I have to decide on the background. All these are some kind of leaves. We'll just make them different color. Let's see, there's two kinds of leaves here. And this one, this one. This one, here's some more. I think I'm almost wanting the background black too, because I have the gold around it, so that gold would stand out. What do y'all think? I'm really torn on the background. And I think I'm going to do these little filigree things. I'll probably stickle those too. I think I'm going to do these little filigrees gold in here. Get one of these gel pens to, I think I use this one. And I'll go over these little filigrees too with gold. That'll be pretty. So then if I do the background black, bye Valerie, they'll stand out. I think it's gonna come together when I get to the glittery bits, you know. And this is just a gold marker, art line. One of the girls sent me these. Yeah, I think a black background will make it pop out. Because I've outlined it in gold, it'll separate this little framed area from the background border frame. Okay. Get all these little filigree bits. So now I just have to decide if I want those flowers purple or blue. Do I want them purple or blue? I'm staring for a minute. Okay, so while that's sitting for a minute, let me get a light green and just kind of put a little bit of green on these yellow leaves. Just going kind of over the yellow, knocking them back. Hi, Bunny. Oh, bye. I didn't even see you come in. Hi and bye. And these leaves, maybe a little bit of shading in those. Where's the... Just to give it a little bit more, so it's not so flat. Just a little bit of shading on each leaf that's on our kimono. I know it doesn't look like I'm spending a lot of time on each thing, but I just don't think it really needs a lot. I mean, it's kind of like... Alright. Now just one shade darker than that green. For some of these little leaves that I painted yellow. Just a little darker. Then we'll do the background black. Oh, that's gold. Then we'll do the background black. I'll just do that with pencil because they're just tiny little areas. And then we'll do the stickles. And I think, oh, these flowers. Dang, I still got to think about those flowers. I don't know. I'm thinking a purple color because I think it needs some more bright, bright color. So let's go with a purple. Let's see. Purple. purple. Let's go with a nice bright purple. Do I want just like a red purple? I think so, because a red purple and a lavender will be bright. Or do I want a dioxazine purple? Maybe. I want the dark purple. Maybe a dark purple. Let me test both of them. Which two? One. Get a piece of white paper. That might be too plum. That's brighter. Okay, we're going to go with the brighter. Make her own color. Yeah, that's a lot of making your own color book. That's more time consuming. It's another project. I haven't even had a chance to upload my poster animals to Society 6 for phone cases and all that. And I don't need another project. And this is just my opinion. There's so many color books out there now. There really are. There's so many color books out there. I just don't feel like. Yeah. Okay. I don't even think I need this light purple. I think I just need white, just to pull out that purple just a little. I think that's all I need. Just a little bit of white. And you know, it'll get on your pencil tip, so don't forget that it's there. So that's what I'm going to do. This is Dahlia purple. And then I'll just use the white to kind of pull it around. I mean, I've done a few of the, you know, like at Christmas, I did those Christmas animals for y'all to color. But y'all forget I don't, well, I mean, I know y'all know, but I do my commissions, you know, when y'all don't see me working here. It's not that I'm not working on something. Like that, just that little bit of purple, see? And then I'll do black. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one. Okay, and take the white and just kind of feather out, you know, pulling out that purple a little bit with the white, smearing it out sorta. So the flowers still stay white with the purple purple shading to them. I could be using a bigger pencil so this one wasn't in the way. Then I'll go back over the darkest ones. Let me sharpen this. You like the Christmas animals? Thanks. People want your art. That's where we're buggy. I know, guys. I try to do a page every now and then for you. But a whole color book, and then either self-publishing it or finding someone to publish it, that's a full-time job just in that. Just trying to have a book published, even if it's just a color book and you're self-publishing it, that's the whole full-time job right there. If you want it to be successful and promote it and all that, you know, and even a digi one, you still have to make all those digi files, and it's a lot of work. I appreciate y'all wanting it, but I just don't have time, you know, to do another project. I'm barely keeping up with what I'm doing, seriously. And streaming 2 days a week, which I love. I love streaming. Yeah, see, that looks good. That kind of gives it a more florally look, but it's not getting lost with the pink flowers. Well, the people that buy my commissions think they like my art, so, you know. And see, the thing is I'd say the bulk of what I do in commissions, y'all don't see, because I don't post them. And that's why I try to every now and then do a sketchy, you know, the people that post their photographs to draw from, my sketchy people. That sounds funny. So that I have samples of my portrait work. I mean, that's not the only reason I do them, because I do like drawing for sketchy, but so people can see what I can do with portraits, because I have to have some kind of samples, you know. All right, let's see. This flower down here, and then we got all the flowers. It's a full-time job dealing with hyper. I know Button bought my old from the 80s cross-stitch book. She bought it, I guess, off of eBay, I'm guessing. I mean, was it a reprint, Button, or when was it printed? Because my original one's printed in 1983. Button found it and bought it. That was so cute. Yeah, I usually, if I'm going to do sketches for samples, I do them off a Sketchy app, because those people have, you know, put their pictures out there. There's all different nationalities. I've shown them to you. I'll show them to y'all again if you want to see them. They're all different nationalities and every kind of, you know, I like being able to, you know, show that I can do all that. So I do a lot of different things off of Sketchy, and those people have put their pictures out there and they allow you to draw them. That's why they do it, you know. And you know, and you as the artist can put your pictures on there too, and they can draw you. So, and also I may or may not spend as much time on them depending on how much time I have. I don't feel any pressure because of drawn from Sketchy for samples. You know, when someone hires you to do a commission, you're more careful of being exact, you know, and when you do realism. Oh, you got a copy of Amazon. Oh, okay, Button. All right, so I think I got all the flowers. That looks pretty good. Let me clean my little tip off here, and I think I want a little bit darker raspberry right on these larger flowers here, because I need it to kind of pop a little more right in the shadows. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the black background. I might even do it with my Sharpie if this one's working. My Sharpie pen. Alright, so now I'm going to have to be real careful in her hair. I don't want to lose, if I color right up next to her braid, I'm going to lose that. So I might just put a little bit of line in there, just so you can still see the distinction between her braids, because her braids are black. Oh, I need a little bit more purple right in there. Her braids are black, and I could almost go in there with purple, like, so that you could almost think that that's flowers back in there. Okay. That's gonna work. Okay. So some of these little tight, real tight areas, I'm gonna get in here with a Sharpie pen, not a Sharpie marker, although it doesn't matter because this is a one-sided page and I've already tore it out. I don't care if anything goes through, but Sharpie pens don't go through like Sharpie markers. Okay, so like that. So I can get in these little tight areas. Again, this is all going to be glittered up. It's going to take too long. It's going to get nice here. Let's get it here. This is a number 8.8, a little bit bigger. Cover more area. Permanent pen, or permanent, you know, the black liner. Okay, let's see. In here. Trying to get this done. Then after I glitter and stickle this, and I'll back out the camera, we'll talk about some of those color books y'all asked about and all that. Because I'm going to outline this in gold stickles. I'm just trying to be close up here for you guys. Let's see here. I'm trying to get this as quick as I can, because this is part 3. I want to finish this page. I want to finish this page, and we'll talk about some of the color books that we were asking about. The one that has the globe in it to do the glass, the manga one, the color book, my notebook, my binder. Let's see what else. I had some more things that y'all were asking about. But I can't do this zoomed in. So think about any questions you have, because when we get done with this, we'll have a little question time. Or talk about color books that y'all have questions about. Doesn't have to be color books. And the other thing too, see, I like to do is I like to draw my animals for you guys, or other things too, but especially animals. I love drawing animals. You know, I did those 2 dogs for Annette. And I say draw and slash paint. They're mixed media. You know, I'll paint and pencil on them. I love drawing those things for you guys. But again, you know, when we only stream 2 days a week, sometimes 3, color books and mixed media, art cards, collage, all that takes all the time. You know? Takes all the time. What time do you have to leave? After this segment, little less than 3 hours total, Terry. This segment will be my only one today. So 10, 11:45, an hour, and 11:45, whatever that is, Eastern. 2 hours and 45 minutes is about, sometimes it can go to 3, depending on Ustream's, quirk. We're supposed to have 3 hours in a segment, but sometimes it stops at 2 hours and 45 minutes, 2 hours and 50 minutes, something like that. So whatever I can get in this segment. What a person say. Yeah, because she doesn't need to remind me. It'll be okay. I think I need some purple in there too, because let's just imagine that there's a flower behind there. Because I don't want it black, because then I'll lose her braids. But if I have purple in there, you can still see a little bit of transition there. So however long we have on this segment is how long I'll be here. But streaming I love it. I love streaming. Because I love talking to you guys while I'm working. And, just hanging out with you. And then again, I'll, watch your guys' streams while I'm working. So I get a lot of stuff done that way. Watching streams while I'm working on things that I can't stream. Oh, the sketchy drawings. That was the other thing I was going to show y'all. Which I know probably most of y'all have seen before. Okay, let's see. Back up here. I'm trying to hold my hand back from the point. Getting there. Do the list thing. Yeah, mixing 1 and 2 things. Yeah, I know. See, that's another project. Oh, I can write a list of projects that we do here. And now we're working every now and then in the magazine journals, the mini magazine journals. Oh, and by the way, I did make a playlist for that. I made a playlist for the mini magazine journal playground, and I think that's what's called, mini magazine playground. That's the playlist. I think there's like 4 videos in there now. So yeah, separating those. I mean, it'll probably still be in the mixed media playlist too, but it's also in its own playlist, so it'll be in both. Okay, now I'm going to back out at least 1 so you can see where I'm stickling. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Let's back out a little bit more. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay, Terry. Thanks. Yeah, so there we go. Now you can see where I put some gold. So I will put stickles on that. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the stickling. So first I'm going to do everything on the inside, work my way out, because the last thing I want to do is put a gold border. So, and hopefully there's gold enough in there. I think there's enough in there. And then, so I'm hoping there's enough in this stardust or diamond one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is every place that I have gold or silver jewelry, I'm going to just put the clear stickles on. Let's make sure this is, there it goes. I'm going to put the clear stickles right over everything. And you'll still be able to see through it, but there is a little bit of twinkly color in this one. The diamond one is the perfectly clear one. But because these are jewels and gold and silver, I don't mind if some other little colors twinkle in there. Now you're not going to be able to see it till I tilt it. And when I photograph it, I'll try to photograph one shot on an angle because, there you go, because the twinkle does not photograph. See? So let's go ahead and get all the jewels done. I'm going to go right over the ruby, right over every bit of jewels. Every place, her rings, her bracelets. And like I said, I know you can't really see anything now. All these beads, I'm thinking they're silver. Every bit of it, it's all getting stickled. That's why I added a little extra shading on the silver balls, so they'll show up. So I'm just kind of, and also guys, if you do use stickles, try to keep it as flat as you can. I know you can make your stickles dimensional, but especially if you're working in a color book, because if you have it bumpy, it's going to affect your coloring on the next page, you know, back or front. If you're laying your next page on top of a stickled page, you're going to feel those bumps. So you want to keep this as flat as you possibly can. I know you can't see anything, guys. Just a minute. Just a minute. Give me a minute. And this, again, I'm not sure if this is like a gold lame or some kind of a fur or something. I'm going to make it gold. You'll see how pretty it looks when I tilt it. Did I get it clogged up? No, there it goes. Wait for it. Wait for it. The belt here. What's the name of the stickles? This one is Stardust. But if I have to recommend one stickles that you should buy, if you're only going to get one, get diamond, because diamond is clear, and whatever color is underneath will be that color. Now Stardust is clear, but it has little flecks of color, so it's not like as pure as the diamond one. All right, did I miss anything? I'm going to tilt my head here and see. This little jewel here. I think I'm going to stickle her eyeshadow. Like if she had eyeshadow on, I'm going to put on her eyes too. All right, so, and now I got to do gold. I'm going to do gold stickles on these filigrees and the border. Okay, so first let me show you this one. Let's see if I can tilt it. There we go. See? Oh, I missed a, no, I didn't miss areas, just kind of dented in there. See? Thanks, Scoobs. I'll try to take 2 pictures, because if you just take a flat picture like this, you don't see. You might see one little sparkly bit, but you don't see the, and like on her eyes there, see the on top of her eyes. Let's go this way. I know, isn't it amazing? Now what I want to do is take the gold stickles, which is not see-through, and hopefully this is working, and I want to outline this frame in gold and do any little gold filigree bits. There's a couple little filigree bits that I want to do in gold. It's a little, being a little messy. I should take a little bit more time. So like right here, there's a gold filigree, and you'll see when I tilt it how that's different than the star or whatever it was called, the crystals. The gold is going to be pure gold. I'm trying to stay in camera for you guys, but I gotta go. I have to turn it. Okay, there's some gold right here. Here, here. These little filigree leaf things. There's one there. You'll see when I hold it up, guys. So all the sparkle is going to be on the inside of this frame, none on the outside. Okay, so now that's going to take some hours to dry. That's why you want to do the stickles last. No, I'm not going to stickle her lips. Okay, so now can you see the gold around the edge? See how it's a different color? It's gold compared to just the diamond-y looking, or what was it called, Stardust. See the gold around the edge and inside of the filigree, and all around the border. Let me tilt it this way for you. Yeah, you can really see the gold right here. Isn't it purty? Purty, purty. All her necklaces and her jewels, all that's, but the gold is really, really bright. And like I said, I'll try to take a picture of it at a couple of angles, because if you don't tilt it, you're not going to see that shine. Of course, it's got to dry now for a bit. I mean, I can take a picture of it still, but I can't touch it now. But that gold, there we go. There you go. And then on her eyes. And I didn't do a lot of skin shading. I kept it minimal. So there we go. All right, let me back out a little more. I think we're kind of still focused. Yeah. So there is our picture, and it's got a little bit of warp right here from the stickles being wet. But once it dries, I can, like, you know, kind of do this on the edges and stuff, kind of flatten it back out. But yeah. So this is our girl out of Moon Blossoms. And I do have one other picture finished. Now let me set this aside because it is wet. And so I finished this one. You'll saw there's no stickles on this one. Finished this one, and I'm working on this one. And it's just got some like almost like the fluorescent pink. The fluorescent pink that's in my this set here. My Bionyo set, this set here. That's a fluorescent pink. I don't know why. I said, I'm going to go with the fluorescent pink. So I do have the little birds are blue, and the leaves I haven't shaded, very minimal shading. The background here is black. I painted that. The leaves are not shaded or anything yet. So, but I just got a base coat. I said, I'm going to go with a fluorescent. So we'll see what happens with that. But this not recorded. None of this one's recorded. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about some of the color books that we've all been talking about during the show here. And thanks guys. So let me put her, I'm going to put her over on my drafting table because I don't want to smear any of that. But I'll take a picture of it and post it in a little while. Okay, so some of the books that we talked about, and I don't know if Jess is still here. I need coffee though, guys. My throat's really starting to hurt. So let me go run get some hot coffee, and then I'll show some of the books. The my notebook. Everybody's asking about cutting up color book pages and what we use. So I have to show that. And I'll show some of Laura got the new one by Carolina Kubikowska. She got the new one. But this one we're talking about. What else? Anyway, let me go grab some coffee and then we'll talk about some of these color books. Hey, Elizabeth. Abby Girl, Prismacolor Kingor. Elizabeth here as opposed to, we have an E on Elizabeth on YouTube that I talked to. I have a black summer dress with flowers on that color. Ooh, yeah, I just wanted to do something with those bright fluorescent colors because I don't think I've ever colored with fluorescent, ever. Maybe a sketch in a sketchbook or something. But, I just don't use them. But I said, I'm going to try to do something with fluorescent. So, yeah. All right, let me put these stickles out of the way, just so they're not rolling around here. All right, let me go run. It'll just take me 1 second, a minute. Hang on. Okay. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to have to kind of flip. I'm going to kind of look ahead because there may be, I don't think there's any nudity in it. But, you know, we can't have any of that on Ustream. All right. So, I've had this one for quite a while. Probably, I don't know, over a year, maybe going on 2. Let me see the date. Yeah, 2015. And I got it when it first came out, and I bought it at the bookstore. So, I gotta catch my breath. So anyway, I haven't even broke the spine on this one. That's how bad it is. So I'm gonna try to see if we can, you know, because it wants to flash out. Maybe if I just lay it down, it'll be okay. So again, it's all manga girls. It looks a little pink right now, guys, but the background is pure white. Okay. It's just looking a little pink. Yeah, I think they're just kind of sexy girls, but there's no naked girls. So, and then all kinds of monstery things. Hey, Amanda. So let's be careful here. Oh, they're wearing bathing suits, so. I'm just going to show a few. I'm not doing a complete flip here. Kind of looking ahead. See, it shows even some how to sketch some of them. Just doing a little kind of quick flip. All the manga styles, all different styles. Looks like Pokemon. So yeah, battles. And so that one is Color Your Very Own Collection of Manga Characters. It also has, let's see, Between the Lines from the highly popular Monster Book of Manga. Fierce Dragon, Amazon Warriors, Mechanical Octopus, Fierce Color Manga. Okay, that's pretty much what it says. So yeah. How's the paper? It is not cardstock, but it's not. I wish I had one of Janet's little measuring. She has a little measuring thing to tell you the exact weight of the paper. It's not 100. I'd say 90 maybe, 60 to 90. 60 probably. Just trying to feel it. It's not cardstock. It's not cardstock. So there's that. And then I watched Laura's flip on her new Carolina Kubikowska. Somebody tell me the name of it again. I forgot the name of the book. This is as far as I know the first one, and then Laura did a flip of the second one, and I was going to show you updates on this. Again, it's a little, I guess it's not too bad, flashed out too much. Maybe I could turn down the bright just a tad, because it's a little better, because it does kind of make the paper go pink. and the paper's white. So just kind of keep that in mind. You put it in your wish list, yeah. Ticket to Dreams. Ticket to Dreams is the one that Laura got. This one, I think it's something like After the Dream, or Following the Dream, or Part of the Dream. It's something about a dream. But the new one's called Ticket to Dreams, and here's the name of this one. And I'll show you how far I've got it. Now, this book, the pages do have a tendency to want to pull out in places. So, the binding, a couple of my pages have come loose. It doesn't really bother me, but just so you know. Hi, Vicky. So I kind of colored a little bit here and there. And this is one that I'm coloring. None of the pages, well, I shouldn't say none. A couple pages might be finished completely, but this just kind of lends itself to like watercolor. I think I used some ink tints, probably some Neocolor and watercolor, and it's in different stages of completion. And it's got a lot of, like these ink splatters, it's got a lot of ink splatters in this one, which makes it look darker. I don't know. See, I don't think it looks that much different than the Ticket to Dream. In my opinion, Laura thought this book was kind of dark, on the dark side, compared to hers. I don't know about that. I can't say that they are that much different. So, but anyway, so I'll tilt it just a little so the color doesn't flash. See, look, see, this one's wanting to come out right there. See? Especially if they get wet. This one I think I just used some watercolor, some dark purple. Isn't that pretty though? And it's not done. There's not a lot of shading done. It's a grayscale, so a lot of the shading, they seem the same to you too? Yeah. There's a lot of grayscale, so see the shadings almost looks like it's done for you. But let me get that purple. We were using a Dahlia purple, just so you can see that when you go to shade, you can really get even more shading. See? Now I'm kind of wanting to use watercolors on this, not pencil as much as I can, or watercolors or gouache, or I gotta watch out. I gotta be careful of my stickle girl here. She needs to be put away, so I'm not. Where's my? Let me get out my Gansai, Tambi, Kuretake, you know. And a water brush. Is there water in this one? Yeah. So, for instance, let's see. I think this is this purple. Yeah. Oops. So, if we use watercolor, don't want to get it too dark. Let me drop some water in here. Get it more of a wash. So you can see we can really do a lot of shading. On the other side of sleep, that's what this one's called. On the other side of sleep, okay. I.e. when you dream. So let's get a little bit more purple, a little bit more water. So I'm just going to do these little poppy things real quick. More water. I'm squeezing the water on here, not on here. And then we'll finish doing a flip in here. Just so you can see, you can kind of build up the layers just like you would a watercolor painting. But remember, it's not watercolor paper, so you got to kind of be aware of layering and drying in between. But isn't it pretty? Really, Colleen? Okay. And I know that the one that Laura got, the ticket to Dreams was expensive. And it's hard to get, and I don't know why they have a hard time shipping it out of country or something. I don't know what the deal is with that one, the Ticket to Dream one. So I'm just going to work a little bit here. Again, I'm not finishing any pages, like, I'm just kind of working here and there, and just maybe let this dry, and they'll go on something else, and I'm just using the one purple out of the Gansai Tambi set here, and just water. You could go in here with a shade with pencil or whatever. I'm just adding some watercolor, more watercolor washes to it. But I haven't flipped through this one in a while, so I don't even remember what I've worked on since the last time. Okay, so there's that. Same thing, I could do the same thing with it here, but I'm not going to right now. I just want to kind of show y'all. You can keep working on it. Let's move this to the side for a minute. Now this is wet, so I'll make sure it's not going to transfer over. Alright, so let's keep going. See what else we got. This is already, let me keep my hand here a little bit. This is already done. This bit right here is already, that came this way. All this watercolor splashy bit. And the, it's, I think it's in, is it Polish? It's all in, so I can't read it. It's not in English. And then, but this is all came this way. And same thing for this brown page with a little faux tape. It came this way. There's no color on this page that I added. That's the way the book came. All right, so here we go with some areas where I've watercolored. Again, they're not completed, but this yellow, I did add the yellow there. There's just, it needs more layers. Just keep layering, layering, layering. So let me just do a flip real quick. Hopefully, I'm pretty much in. There's little edges cut off. Again, some more of those mushrooms. I'm just going to do a quick one with just crystals and acorns, and owls. Here's some we've worked on, and we added this right here. I say we because I did do this on a stream. Added the swirls, the blue. Again, but it's not completed. Let me see something to prop this up. Here's my chat pack here. Let me prop it up just a touch. Let's take the glare off there. It's not done. Again, let me get my watercolor here. And so you can go in here and continue to build up your layers. And this paper's pretty, this paper's a little on the thick side. Again, it's not, I wouldn't call it cardstock, but it can hold up to some water. Now I wouldn't oversaturate any color book page, but it'll hold up to some water. So some of those, and then maybe some of this sienna here. So just give you all a little bit of color book update on some of the ones we're talking about. And I'll also will show you my binder again and my sketchies. Somebody asked about my sketchies, or maybe I just mentioned it anyway. My sketchy people drawing. I think I want this stem, I want this stem to be in the shadow there. But if you want it even darker still, you're going to let it dry before you add that next layer, or hit it with the heat gun, whichever, because you don't want it to go through because of the water. Oh, I missed what Eileen said. Jean's ha-ha-haing, but I missed what Eileen said. I'm sure Eileen's enabling us on some form or other. So there we go. There's a little bit more shading there. So isn't that pretty though? I mean, I really like this. Eileen says she doesn't buy stamps. She doesn't need to buy stamps. She has them all. Eileen. I don't buy stamps. It's because I already own them all. So there's some little mushrooms. And again, I could do these leaves with more shading. That needs a little bit of water added to it. Where's my tray? Squeeze out some water. So I think I'll get the point to how I'm doing this book. You know, go in here and can y'all see okay? I mean, I'm just doing some little samples here. All right, so now let's move on. Where's my lid? Where's my cap? There it is. All right. So I'm going to keep flipping here. Some Venus flytraps. Let's prop her up here. Again, an initial wash on these. I'd have a couple of layers of wash on these leaves, some brown and teal, and just an initial wash of gray. But like his eye, where's my brush? His eye needs to be, do I have a teal color right here? What color is this? Might have a little teal in here somewhere. Like his eye needs to be teal. Make sure it's not too wet. Another big rose. A lot of roses in this one. Little bird, deer. And these two we did a stream on. Oh, the other thing I have to show, somebody asked me about the glass globe. Okay, so see this one pulled out. These two pages pulled out here. I think just the glue in the seam, just kind of. So this one. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of difference in the style between this one and her other one either. But, you know, everybody likes different things. See, this one came out. These few pages right here in the center came out. I'm just going to keep flipping. Braid there in her hair. Some of your pages came out too, Vicki? Yeah. This would be one to put all the pages in a binder, especially if they're falling out. Let me see the size. If they'd fit in a regular size. They're a little over 8.5. It's like 8 3/4. So they won't fit in your standard 8.5 by 11 because they're just a little bigger. because the glue wasn't the glue. It's the glue, the spine glue. And then this is already colored. This came this way here. And then this one came this way. Everything's splattered with ink. Yeah, it's everything's it's got ink splatters all over it. This is already printed. That came this way. This is what's on the cover. And so yeah, that's this one. That's how far I've worked in it. Yeah, the paper's thicker and the glue and the binding wasn't that. But look how it's already warped. See how it's warped that already? Like we talk about our magazine journals. Okay, so there's that flip. Let me see the library. I think it's a mysterious library where we have the globe girl. The globe. Let's see. Yeah. So here's the start of my glass globe. She's not done. This is another one we have to finish. Hey, LBO, good to see you. Good to see you again. Okay, so anyway, I've just started it, you know, based on her clothes here. I've colored where it's see-through. So like you see through the globe here, you'd see some green. You'd see right here's her hand. Here's some of that purple fur. So that's the start of it. Now after you finish coloring it in, you can always take a white Posca or some white acrylic paint and do a highlight, like an arced highlight to make the highlight kind of round like the ball, and that'll look like a shine. Does that make sense? What book is this one? This one is The Mysterious Library. Yeah, I'm using the chat pack to prop up the the book just an inch or so to take the glare off. Yeah. So that's how, you know, you can do a piece of glass, a globe, a glass itself, like a drinking glass. You want to have the colors coming through from the background, whatever that is. And Jean's been doing watercolor glass. And then highlighting it with white, you know, solid opaque white highlights on it, whether it's on a glass like a picture, you know, picture glass, or whether it's a drinking glass or a globe. You can put some highlights, but you got to do that after, you know, after that's like putting the glitter on. So, and again, this book I'll go through and I might sit with the marker. Like here's some orange. I might just sit with an orange marker, go through the whole book and see anything I can find orange. In this case, this one we finished. I called this one done. I decided that I wanted to leave the stones around the edge white because it makes her stand out. But like here, look, I just, with the orange Crayola marker, you know, the bullet tip ones, super tips, just did the little pumpkin. And see, then you can go back and shade with pencil if you want to. Like here, these leaves are done. The leaves are done in 2 shades of the super tips. And then I went in here, where's that green? I went in here and started shading with pencil. See? So you can shade right on top of it. The thing is that it gives you a base, just like you could do this with watercolor, neocolors, acrylic wash, gouache, anything. Anything, you know, you don't want it to be, make sure if you're using your acrylic paint, you water it down. Otherwise, you're going to be covering up all your color book lines. That's why I say a wash. It's watered down acrylic. You got to use some gouache paints? Okay, well, I have to leave after the show, Eileen. I can't stay, so, yeah. So I got an appointment I got to go to. So anyway, you can kind of get in here and right on top, I'm holding it up in the air, right on top of your Crayola so you can start shading. And that's true of any of our wet mediums. Just you got to make sure you don't oversaturate your pages. So yeah, so that's the globe one. So there's that. I want to get back in my Mythomorphia. I'm just going to do a little update here. Let me move this. And I've only done a couple finished pages in this. Again, this is all acrylic wash, and it you can feel a little bit different tooth to the acrylic wash than you can with watercolor. It's a little toothier. Hey, Debbie Epps. It's a little bit more texture, tooth to the paper when you use acrylic wash, other than like Neocolors or watercolor or whatever. So this is just my initial wash. Then I can go in there and start shading, like, let's see here. Then start going in here with your pencil. And then that's where all the detail comes in. And yes, it takes time, especially in these Kirby books. Kirby has lots of a lot of detail in his books, right? What color pencil do you recommend? If I had to tell anybody to buy, and it's not the cheapest, and they're definitely not the most expensive, I love my Prismacolors. I'm used to them. It's the pencils I've used for, I don't even know how many years they've been around. And I know they had some breakage issues for a while, but the people that have bought the newer, lately, have said that they haven't had the breakage issues. I don't know if they moved back out of Mexico or what they did. I don't know. Change the wood around the pencils, or if they just have better quality control. I don't know what they did, but everybody's saying they haven't had breakage issues in these last batches. But maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know where you buy your sets from. Who's selling them? Are they selling the old sets that had issues? But here's why I like Prismacolor. They're soft and they blend. That's why I like them so much. I like a lot of the other pencils too that I've been trying out, like the Holbees and the different ones. But I'm so used to Prismacolors and the softness and the blending. That's why I like them so much. So I think I'm going to have this side just be barely shadowed. And I'm just stopping on little rabbit trails in the books. And they've gone down in price too. Prismacolors used to be more expensive than they are now. They've come way down. Yeah, Erin just said she saw 150 set for $84. That's 50 cents a pencil. Yeah. And you can also, if you don't know if you're going to like them, go pick you up some single ones, because you can buy them individually. But a couple things about buying them individually, like replacement pencils, like when I need more black and white, I'll just go pick them up. And it seems like I always meet somebody at the pencil counter when I'm buying them. Two things when buying open stock. You might be picking up pencils that have been dropped and therefore may be broken. Now I know people have said they've put them in the oven and microwave and remelt it. I don't do all that, but and I think it was Dana that said she set her pencil on fire in the microwave some years ago. So I can't recommend doing that. I'm not going to recommend doing that, but I've heard people say that they have done it. The other thing is when you buy an open stock, make sure that you buy ones with the and I know it's not lead, but make sure that your lead is centered, because if your lead is not centered, they'll break when you sharpen them. I don't know that I have one just sitting here, a bad one. Let me see. I don't know, because I pretty much have replaced any that had bad. Let me just kind of look here at some of the ends. See if I can find one that's not perfect. But they're off center. Okay, here's one. Here's a gray. Look at this. Look at that. See how it's, I can't get much closer, guys. Try to get my fingers around it. See how it's not centered? See how it's off to the side? That's a sharpening issue waiting to happen right there. So when you buy them open stock, make sure they're perfectly centered and not off center. Can you see that? I think you can. See how it's off center? There we go. Now you can see. That's a sharpening issue waiting to happen right there. Okay, let me just quickly get around the edge here. I wanted to do a flip through my Mythmorphia, and then I'll flip through my color book binder. But I'm glad we finished part 3 of the Moon Blossom Girl. I want this side to be shadowed deeper and like almost like it's like, you know, this is covering up more than this side in the shadow. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. Yeah, and did you point it out to them? If I find, you know, especially if you're at an art supply store. Now, Michael's, they probably don't care. If you go up to them and say, look, these aren't centered, you need to, okay, yeah, thanks. But if you're at an art supply store like Blick or, you know, whatever, and they're not centered, you need to call it to their attention. I have to say I've yet to meet anyone in an art supply store that knew about that without telling them. They didn't know that at all. And I don't know if any other pencils have even ever had that issue or not, like Prisma. I've never really, like, you know, checked them out so much. And some pencils are covered on the end, so you can't see them anyway. So then I would get the next, you know, teal color and start blending this. Do I have one just sitting here? Because I wasn't going to really do a, you know, color on this. I'm just kind of playing around while we're talking about different books. Let's see if this one will work. Yeah. So then I take this, I think is aquamarine, to blend. Remember, I don't really, nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. I don't use blender pencils. I don't use Gamasol and all that stuff to blend. I only use pencils. And lots and lots and lots of layers. Now there's not too many layers here, but you're too scared to talk to people. Okay. Maybe write a note and leave it there. I don't know. I gotta tell you, I've never been afraid to talk to anybody. I don't know, that's just me. I'll go up to strangers in bookstores and start talking books in a heartbeat. Or supplies. That's just me. I don't know. I like to talk. I like to interact with people. I mean, what do you think they're going to do to you if you talk to them? You'll have to type it in. Links are closed unless you can get Eileen or Vicky or Terry to open them for you for a minute. I don't have links open anymore, guys. Yeah, I mean, you can still post, you can type out stuff, but if you need a link open, you'll have to ask one of the mods. So you see how it's going here? See how I'm blending this lighter aqua in with the, I think this is peacock or turquoise, cobalt turquoise. There's also peacock green, or I think peacock blue or peacock green. So, okay. But I mean, like, what do you think they're going to do to you if you talk to people? The worst they can do is, look, I don't want to talk. That's the worst. And I don't think I've ever had anybody say that. Or they might look at you and walk away. Now, I've had a couple people do that, but it's like, who cares? Like, they're not going to beat you up. Yeah, like Jean. Yeah, you're so afraid to talk, Jean. I think Jean's up to 150,000 tweets. But it is different talking online, for sure. It is different when you're talking in chat or, typing, rather than actually talking to somebody. But again, what do you think they're going to do? All right, I'm going to finish this little circle here. But what I want to show you, though, is that now that the wash is on here, then you go in here with pencils or more wash. You could go back in here with some more watercolor or neocolor or acrylic or whatever it is you're working with. Pencils are just my favorite thing. I love me some pencils. And I'm used to Prismacolors. I use the other ones too, but I'm just so used to using them for so many years. It's just hard to break that Prisma habit, you know? I get up a place where everyone talks to everyone. Well, and after you stream for a while, you get used to talking to people in chat too. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to stop. I just want to kind of show you that's the next step. From this to this, and I would continue on. But I just want to kind of show you, same thing for all these leaves. It'll take forever. But let's do a quick little peruse through my, let's see what I got washed in here. Like this has just got a wash on it. Again, I'll probably go in here with some acrylic paint and foam it up with just some acrylic paint. I don't want to glue my pages together, so I got to be careful here. But you can foam, put foam in there, like coming out of his nose. He would have some coming out of the nose there. Anyway, I just kind of want to show you the different things you can do. Now I don't want to get up. Let me dry that, because I don't want to. If I close that when it's wet, I could stick my pages together. Eileen says, I love talking to people. As a matter of fact, I talk to myself. Hey, Miss Q. All right, so I'm not going to do a complete flip of this book. I'll just flip to where I've got something on it. Okay, so y'all know this side's done, this side's not. I'm not sure where I want to go with this. I want to tie him into her, the tree nymph or elf or whatever she is, color-wise, or have it completely different. I don't know, but that side's done. This one we have 2 parts, at least 2 parts on this one. But I think we got enough done on this so that everybody knows how to do the snow. The mountains are backlit from behind the mountains. So this is like the shadowed side of snow. And then we did the snow shadows in purple. But I think we got, and then showed how to do the trees. So we showed how to do snow trees. And so the rest is detail. That, you know, I know that everybody would like to see every little detail colored, but if we do that, we'll have 10 parts on every color book page. And, you know, this one's completed. This one took me about 4 parts. And, yeah, here's our werewolf. And he is creepy, and he has bloody footsteps. And lots of bats and birds. And then there's shine. There's shimmer on the moon and on his gold, on his back and on his shoulder. That shimmer right there, I think it's Winka Stella to make it shimmer like that. So this one's done. Yeah, Vicky likes the werewolf. You have cats and that no one knows that you're not talking to yourself. And then, let's see, this one's done. The Chinese dragon. With lots of wispy clouds over the top. Again, those are just done with acrylic paint and a baby wipe on my finger and smearing it. It takes bravery to do that. After you might have spent hours and hours coloring the page, then dip a baby wipe in acrylic paint and start smearing over the top. But I really like the way this one, again, let me tilt it a little so, because it is flashing out when I lay it flat like that. There's more of the color right there. Okay, what else do I have done in here? That's it. So that's Mythomorphia. That's his newest, and according to Kirby on Facebook, it's his last color Morphia book anyway. It's his last Morphia color book for a while. Does Winka Stella or the Spectrum Noir need to be sealed? I don't seal anything in color books. I don't see, no, it doesn't need to be sealed. I think it's permanent, like Stickles, once Stickles is dry. Yeah. I don't seal my color book page. For one thing, I use so many different mediums on my color books. And if you use any kind of water, like Neocolors, use watercolor or Neo 2s, and you try to put, you know, put a gloss sealer on, it's going to smear. And I know you can go outside and spray everything. To me, the spray sealers, the smell never goes away. If I spray seal something, and it's been years since I have, because I know, you spray seal something, years later you open your book and you can still smell it. I don't spray seal anything. And I don't do chalks. Now, if I did chalks or pastels, you almost have to seal those, right? But I don't do chalks and pastels. That's one of the things I liked about the Magicals. Once they're completely saturated and dissolved, they're kind of like ink tints. They're permanent, and that's different from the other powders and stuff. But I don't put any varnish on. The only thing I varnish are my mixed media collages in my like abandoned places, my altered books, or my mixed media collage books, and my art cards. All my art cards are all sealed with the same gloss varnish that I use on everything. Okay, so there's Mythomorphia. I'm also still working in Fantasia, and Kenny sent me this one, and I've got her I still need to finish. I got this far on her, and I got the mermaid, which the mermaid is done except for the background and some of the coral here. See, I haven't finished shading. Like, let's see, I don't want pink. I don't know if I want this color. So I still have to shade the coral. And I have to do the background. But she's done. And she has stickles on her. So there you can see the stickles on her. There we go. So there's she's all stickled up with the diamond stickles. See how the diamond stickle is clear? There's no color in that. I'm pretty sure that's diamond stickles there. I'm trying to get it to shine. There we go. Bye, Amanda. So you can see how shiny that is. So I'm working in that. Oh, you want me to color Medusa? Yeah, Pat, are you the one that's been asking me to color Medusa? I'll leave it open so I can remember. Yeah. And that's all I've got in this one so far. I want to color, the next one I want to color in my Bennett Klein is the hedgehogs, and I want to do it with Holbees, the Holbee pencils. So I got my Holbees and Hedgies. I want to color that one. I have done a little bit in this one, the Minuet de Bonheur, however you want to say it. There's our Bunnies and Brick page. Finished this one. There's videos on this, a couple different parts to this one. And then I've also got, I think somebody says Dance of Happiness. See, I try to put the name if it's in another language. Someone said Dance of Happiness. So that one, this one, sticky noter. Yeah, I could do that too. And I think I got one more here. Do I have one more in there? I thought I had one more in this book. This one. This one's done. Can't wait for the Hedgies and Holbees. Yeah. So that one's done. So that's as far as I got in this book. Then let's see what else am I working on. Laura sent me a Walk in Eden. Yeah, how do you say it, Jean? Put it in phonetics for me. Jean, Minuet de Bonheur. Put it in phonetics, because that's how I read. So that's why I say it like I do, because I'm phonetically reading it. And I know it's another language, and that's a total different, you know. Okay, so I finished this, and you know what? I have not posted this yet in my Facebook. I need to put this in my Facebook album, because I do try to put all my finished color book pages in my Facebook color book album, and they're public, guys. If I don't follow you on Facebook or you don't follow me, you can still go see my color book pages. Oh, and that was the other thing, my sketchy people. Where are they? Oh, it's over here. I'll get out here's all my sample pages there. Okay, so did she put it in there yet? No, she doesn't. There's no H in French. So bonheur, Abby girl. I know Jean's probably trying to type it out, and Jean with her typos. Oh, I'm sure this is going to be good. We tease Jean about her typos all the time. Anyway, so I need to post this one, my camo tree. I need to put this one in my Facebook album. Again, all my art, it's like beignet. Minuet de Bonheur. her. Minuet, like minuet, right? Minuet de Behur. And I don't know. Jean might have put some typos in there on purpose. Just saying. Yeah, it's hard to do phonetics because it's in French. Yeah, I know, Jean. I'm just giving you a hard time. Okay, so anyway, and then I got a couple things. I think, do I have another something started in this one? Couple things done. Oh, I do. I have a couple things done in this. The cactus. We finished the cactus, and I did post this one. My French sounds like German. Ah, Vicky. Oh my gosh. And then the chandelier. We finished the chandelier. Oh my goodness. So that's what I've got done in A Walk in Eden. That's A Walk in Eden. And Laura sent me that one. What else am I working on? I mean, I have tons of books in progress, guys. My lookbook, my Bennett Kleins, and different ones. So now let's go to, here's my binder. And these are my finished pages. And a lot of them have stickles, and I don't really want to take all the individual pages out. I might need to back up one. I don't want to take all the pages out of the binders to show you the stickles unless y'all really need me to. Because the stickles won't show. Let me do this coffee. It's scaring me. I got a stack of Happy Mail to get done today, too, after I get back from my appointment. Okay, so Miss Q said, a shorty, minuet de be on. Okay, I need to practice that. We won't do that here. So in my binder here are any pages that are 8.5 by 11 that I've cut out of the books. And I do take all my Bennett Kleins out of the books as I work on them. The paper's thin. I don't recopy them on. Now I did do one. I recopied or reprinted out one Bennett Klein on craft paper. But other than that, it's just the paper that they come on. Minuet Bon Air. Is that better? Minuet Bon Air. Thank you, Terry Truffle. Okay, so anyway, this page right here is probably the one that took me the longest to color. Let me prop myself up here again because it's wanting to flash out. That may help a little. This took like 10 parts on stream. We did this in the most detail we possibly could. And, it's either one or the other, but it's very, very detailed. Every little fur. We did all the fur to make it look like real fur. So that one did take a lot of time. So these are all my Bennett Kleins. And again, there's stickles like on this right here. There's stickles on that. I don't really want to take all the pages out. This one had little happy smiley faces. But we took turned the smiley faces into pumpkin faces. I think we did this at Halloween. You got close, yeah. So I got rid of the smiley faces and turned them into pumpkin jack-o'-lantern faces. But yeah, maybe I can just kind of hold them up. I don't have autofocus on or anything, but I just want y'all to see some of the pages. These are my Bennett Kleins. This little fairy, she's all glittered up. There you could kind of see, if you don't look at the glare, you can see some of the glitter. And then her, she's got all that smoke is all white pencil. Because it's acrylic paint. You can do this on top of acrylic paint. Okay, there's the bear. Here's my vampire girl. This one took quite a few. Episodes as well. You like the pumpkin? This one I did not have a video on. I just did this one in my spare time, and I really like the way it turned out. I kept it to like 2 shades of green, 2 shades of red, and white. I think I used 5, oh, and maybe a little blue and blue. So I think I used 6 pencils on this one. That's all. Let's see, a red and an orange, a white and blue, and 2 shades of green. I think I only used 6. Oh, and her face. I did use, so 8 pencils, because I used 2 shades on her face, and freckles. I put freckles on her. So a minimum amount of pencils on this one. And again, all it's black acrylic paint, so that I could do all this smoky bit on top. And I put all my own planets, my own stars, all that. The shooting star, the little planet right there. That's just all what I added. Here's the one that I printed out on craft paper. So I printed this dragon on craft paper, and I only used black and white. So I used a white pencil and a white Posca and a black pencil. And that's all that I used on that. A Posca, a white pencil, and a black pencil. On top of craft paper. Okay, here's our little, we did this one I think mostly on stream. I might have finished it up afterwards, and I could seriously add some more detail around the little swirls. This one we kind of did a quick stream on. Again, I think we used 2 shades of purple and 2 shades of teal, and that's all we used on this one. And then the panda, see, again, minimal colors. If you just keep it to a few colors, it's very dramatic, and the contrast, and it's just very dramatic when you keep the colors minimal. Now, I know that you can't sometimes. You know, you got flower gardens with 20 leaves, or like my bunnies and bricks. I don't even know how many pencils I used in that one, because it's a whole garden scene with pots and flowers and bricks and grass, and so there's a lot of colors in that. But if you can keep a minimum of colors, it can have a very dramatic look. So again, I think I used 2 shades of green, pink and purple, black. I think that's it. I outlined these hibiscus in white Posca for a dramatic effect. And yeah. So then here's my and then I put them on a black piece of cardstock. If I take them out of the book, I'll just double side tape them to a piece of cardstock, and then on the back of the cardstock I'll write what book it's out of. Okay, so here's my Doodlers Anonymous. Now my Doodlers Anonymous, I actually took it apart. Not every Doodlers Anonymous is in here, but if you do like a book that has a lot of pages, Doodlers is one of my favorite books. Eventually I would love to finish the whole book. And somebody asked me if you could only have one book, what would it be? Doodlers would be right there on the top of my list. And here's why. 90 different artists in this book. So there's just so many different artists, so you get such a variety, right? So these are my Doodlers, and I even kept the content page in some plastic there. And so here's one of my favorites, the Colorbook Addict. And they did feature me on their Doodlers Anonymous website for all the things that I've colored, and because I love their book so much and promoted it so much. So these are some of the pages. Again, I added my own glow around the astronaut. This was just a blank white page. So I added my own snow and clouds to it. This one, I think, is the one they actually featured on their show, on their site. There was no water here. This I added all this. There's no lantern there. So remember, you're the boss of your color book. If you want to add water, if you want to add clouds, if you want to add rain, snow, sleet, or hail, throw it in there. So, and then here, I love this one. And OCAT, that's the owner, Doodlers Anonymous. That's his handle. So I put a tattoo on this pirate, or the sailor. And look, he's got a little crab holding on his beard. This beard's all fish. And then I always try to accent the artist. You like looking at them? Thanks, Vicki. I try to accent the artist's name so that the artist that drew it is not lost in the piece. So again, I think this one was done with the a base of Crayola Super Tips and then shaded with pencil. And then this one, all the Converse shoes, I put the water coming down on top of them. This was a 2-page spread. And again, I added all the raindrops, added more fur or more hair on the monster, the sea monster. Put a little flap of hair blowing on him. Add your own touches to it. Add your own touches. Nobody. I always say this. The artist, like Bennett Klein, you do something different on Bennett Klein, he's not going to email you and say you did it wrong. I did not add that cloud there. The artists are not going to do that. This is one where I took and I added all my own textures. All the little dots and dashes, I put all that in there. Like his sweater, I put all those little dots and all these little designs. I just really overtly designed it. And then there's the artist right there. I kept the name right there. And yeah, it's a little tight. Well, he's not tighty whities. They're boxers. But and we named him Foxy. This one is one of my favorites as well because of the silk ribbon. Did his outfit to look like silk ribbons. I really like this one. Flappy was your screensaver. And then this one we did, again, there was no letters. These are all stickers. So I did this on a show. And so added all these stickers and then did fibs, friends in the box. And so added all the typewriter floating out. The letters floating off the typewriter. So those are my Doodlers Anonymous. This one was from Sketchy, which by the way, I have my Sketchy faces here. Sketchy had a color book segment a few months ago, maybe a year, I don't even remember. Anyway, so somebody had drawn this girl for everybody to color. There's a whole bunch of them. There's probably about 10 things you could choose from. So you could choose a color book page to color and post it. So this is the one I chose to do. Wonder what Doodlers will come up with. I think they did something else. I can't remember, Suzanne. Everybody needs to follow Doodlers Anonymous website. If you want lots of inspiration and tons of creativity, go follow Doodlers Anonymous. This girl, I just call her Coffee because she's coffee colored and she's drinking coffee. She was out of, which book was it? Oh no, it's on the back here. Hang on. She was in the Vintage Women and Flowers by Kyoto Sakura. And I've colored her some on the show. And where's... Hang on, I'm looking for it. This one. And Tammy sent me this one. And the paper's thin. The paper is like paper, literally paper thin, like, you know, Bennett Klein's, very thin. So it is a little harder to color on, you know, I mean, I don't want to say harder. You do have to work a little bit more when you color on thin paper. So if you don't like color on thin paper, then copy it off on a cardstock that you're going to be happy with. But anyway, so there's my girl Coffee. That was a fun stream. You like that? This was a page out of, I think this was out of the Somerset Studio color book. And I cut this out, and this is black paint, a collage. I added my own water. And same for this one. This is all hand drawn and collage. So I think just the trees were there. I'm not sure what was here, but I painted it out and then painted him on top and added that collage bit. I got to get crack-a-lack. I was probably about 15 minutes, and I wanted to get through all this. Here's one of my the Creative Haven kimono girls. This one was, I don't even remember. It's on the back. But anyway, this was a double-page color book spread, and then I did she's out of just a magazine. And then I put watches in all the middle of the flowers, added some collage bits and some shooting stars and stuff in the back. Here's another one of the Creative Haven girls. Yeah, a lot of fun streams in this binder, that's right. And now here's my Jasmine girls, my Jasmine Beckett Griffith girls. And again, painted the background black so I could do this kind of stuff. Okay, and that's the Poppy girl, and all the information is on the backs of them. There we go. Wants to flash out, especially with glare, binder glare. Okay, so I'll just kind of do a little bit of close-ups. Again, paint in the background, all my own stars and nebula. Okay, then here's this one. This is one of the few that do not have a show on them. But I added all that fire. I added a little earth there. So anyway, this girl. Here's my pirate. My fiery redhead pirate girl. And then this one, I do love the stickles on this. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, see, she's all stickled up. See the stickles on her tail? And again, I made her have pretty braids. Paint on the water. Here's the Halloween one again. This has got stickles all over her. I say it was a live show. There's we put the glow coming out of his eyes, and a lot of stickles all over this one. This one is all stickled up. See his vest and her hair and her edges of her wings. There's even a little bit of stickles in her eyes. And then I wanted her to look like she had velvet dress. His buckle is glittered. So yeah. And then all the smoke and lightning, added all that. Cupcake Girl, I think this was out of the Halloween book too. And again, stickles on the spider, stickles in her eyes, on the cupcake. Really like her eyes. And then this is our Children of the Corn. I call her that. Added all the corn stalks in her hair. And put her in a mist in a pumpkin patch. We did this one at Halloween too. So, okay, then I got some blank pages here and bits. You know, I've got bits here saved to use for different things. This is cut her out. I don't know where I'm going to put her yet. Let's see, Mom sent me this one. There's my mom's pretty writing. Remember I told you how pretty my mom writes? You like the Velvet Crush? Yeah. This is the only page I colored out of the color book. I mean the comic book color book. It's a vintage comic book color book. And then here's a couple of the girls out of Look. And I do have this one that I'm still working on. These girls will go in here too whenever I get them done. Let's see. The one I'm doing with the Copics. Where is she? Where's my Copic girl? It's in this stack of stuff I'm working on here. Here. So this has got Copic hair. And I think, was this Hoo Hoo Hero hair? So, yeah. Gotta finish that. That's Copic hair with some white Posca pen across the top. Children of the Wheat Field. And yeah, so then let's see what else do we have in here. This is some pages out of the Somerset Studio Coloring Studio books. I don't think they're doing anymore. I think they did 4, and they're not doing them anymore. As far as I know, they stopped doing the Coloring Studio by Somerset Studio. She was in there, but I added my own collage. So all this is collage. This is collage. We did stencils. We did drips. So I really like her. She's like my Egyptian princess. Again, this one, they featured this one in a little spot in one of their Somerset Coloring Studio. Did drippage. Oh, here's some glass. Okay, so there's some glass. Some glass jars. This one, Tim Holtz did a drawing or a piece, a collage-y thing. Tim Holtz did a drawing or whatever you want to call it for the Coloring Studio, and so this is my take on it. Let's see. I added extra gears. I cut out gears there. Added my own watch face. Added the watch hands as his mustache. More gears. So, yeah, there's that one. Do you need a link? Y'all got links? Okay. This is one we did using just Crayola crayons. This was one where we wanted to show that you could color a whole page with just a box of crayons. So this was all done with just Crayola crayons. There we go. And then this one was out of, what one was this one out of again? I've got 2 here. Let me pull this because the next one has a lot of stickles on it. This one was out of the Gothic Special by Selena Finnick. She's out of that one. Again, added I think we added a Wink of Stella to her dress. See, it's shimmery. So she's got a shimmery dress. And yeah, and then put some shine in her hand, and then put a little bit of a glow around her hair. So there's that one. Love the pages, thanks. And then this one is from Dreams of Dragons by Ravine Phelan. And this one is completely stickled up. Look at all the stickles we added to this one. And try to do some kind of dragon skin, some kind of sketchy looking penciling work here to make it look like not scales. Like here we got the scaly skin and then have a different kind of skin. And again, this works because there's only 3 main colors. Well, there's accent of the yellow, but look, it's just green, blue, and pink, and then shades of those. And it just brings it all cohesively together. And see all the stickles on that one? So those two. And then this was just a little sample thing. This one is not done. We're doing a monochromatic. This was out of the, what do you call it? This one. Manic Botanic, which I really love this book, but it's so detailed. This is, you know, some time in this baby. But that's out of that one. I bought this one with at my birthday. I got this one and a few. I think I got like 4 books on an Amazon order all at once one time. And I think that's pretty much it. I got blank pages ready, you know, some sleeves and stuff in here. So that's all I really have in my binder, right? But that's quite a bit of stuff in there. Then real quick, because we're going to run out of time. And if the video just stops suddenly, that's because we ran out of time. I'm going to try not to let that happen. We might have about 10-15 more minutes. Is probably about all the time we have. Okay, so this is my napkin journal. Here's some current napkins I want to use. I'm going to do this real quick. Again, this is an old faux ledger. It's not a real ledger, but this book one of my sisters sent me for, it's a 2009. I don't do diaries, but I kept the book. I love the book. Again, it looks like a faux ledger and it's textured and everything, but I never used it as a diary, but we're using it as a napkin journal. So what I mean by a napkin journal is you take the decorative napkins, you peel off the backing, like this one's already been peeled off. There's a little bit left right there so you can kind of see. You peel off the backing and you matte medium it down, and then what we've done in this book is then we've taken color book bits, you know, a fairy, a mermaid, a little elf, or whatever, and we've made a page out of it using using napkins as our base. So I am just going to, thanks Kimberly for the awesomeness. So again, like this one's just got the napkin on. I haven't done anything with it, and there's a lot of those in here. This one, these are some big elements that were in a color book. I don't remember what all the color books are. They're different fairy ones, and you know, and they're not expensive. A lot of these might be out of the Creative Haven. They're not the expensive color books like, you know, we pay a lot of money for. These right here are from, do I have her book right here? I follow her everywhere. Where's the book? Juliet Crane. These are from Juliet Crane color books. Well, this one is. I think this is from a bird book. So you can combine different things. So like this is Juliet Crane. This is maybe a different book. And then see how we paint it in. The background is all napkin. That's all napkin in the background. And then paint in. Like May had her antlers connect to a tree branch that he's sitting on. Yeah, they do. Creative Haven has great, such a great selection of different types of things. So again, here's one where we did the background is napkins, all that's napkins, and then cut her out and we stickled her up too. Got to glitter up our mermaids. I mean, Xandra would make sure we did. So that's 2 mermaids back to back there. Yeah, but it's napkins in the back, and then paint, a lot of acrylic paint. So it's a mixed media thing, but it's napkins at its base. Here's just some napkins glued down with nothing done to it yet. Here's some more Juliet Crane. This one I think is from her creatures, and this is from her girls. She has 2 different books out. So again, all the flowers that you see in the background, that's all napkin. And it's textury. It is textury. So if you do decide to do a napkin journal with color book page, make sure you color your elements before you glue them down. Because otherwise, if you try to glue her down on top of a crunchy napkin, she's going to look crunchy when you color her, right? So color your elements and then cut them out and glue them on top of your napkin journal and then paint them in. Bye, Abby girl. Thank you. So I'm just going to kind of do a quick flip. And they sound crunchy, but they are not sticking. It's just napkins are the worst for crunchy sounds because of the texture. But they're not really sticking in the sense that they're pulling things off. So just to make sure you know that. You love the napkin journal? So again, lots of napkins that are just like waiting for more. Waiting for more. Here's this one we did at Halloween. This is napkins. And we just stickled up the eyes to make them look like they glow. I think this is 2 different napkins. There's this one with the crows. Halloween napkins, right? Halloween napkins. This one had the crows and the fence. And then this was a separate one with all the little jack-o'-lanterns. And this is Fairies from a color book. And we cut her out and made her look like she was holding one of the jack-o'-lanterns. And she's all stickled up. And then the moon is stickled up as well. And then this is just paint on a baby wipe to make her look like they're in the fog. You like the crunchy sounds? I don't mind the crunchy sounds as long as it's not like literally tearing pages apart. And it's not. I just want to make sure that y'all know that it's not like, it's just the napkins kind of touching, but they're not pulling anything apart. Another Juliet Crane. These are from another color book. And the background is all napkin. Hydrangeas. And so you use the napkin just like we do with an altered book or a magazine journal. You use the background colors as your inspiration color. So because this had hydrangeas in it, we did her blue, you see. Here's another one. The bees are napkins. Terry Trouble sent me the bee napkins. And then poppy napkins. And then this is from a color book right here. The fairy and the flower. So, and I put some stickles on the bees, stickles on her wings. And yeah, all this is napkin. And then we paint. Now this is all paint here, guys. It's all painted in to make it blend. More, there's nothing done to it yet. Nothing done, nothing done. They're just some of them I just have the napkins glued down. And then we'll go back and add our color book elements. And I have one of my journals too. One of my Dilutions journals. Let's see if like this one I think it is. This Dilutions journal is kind of the same thing. It's got all kinds of color book. Maybe I'll have time to flip through this. We'll see, because we're going to run out of time here in about 5 minutes. So I'm trying to squeeze in as much as we can here. Here's where we did a little elf out of a color book. These are all napkins. And again, stickles and paint. That's all painted background. So there's just so much you can combine in mixed media. You know what I mean? So let's see, do I have any more finished pages in here? This one's done. Again, she's kind of coming up to a bird. This is color book pieces. This is all napkin. Color book piece, a separate color book piece with her. And we added, again, stickles. Oh, let's see. That one's not done. This one's done. Again, 2 Juliet Crane creatures from the creature book and one of her others. And then this is a moon cut out of a magazine. And then just glittered up too. All that yellow and butterflies, napkins. So yeah, that's all in the napkin journal. And like I said, I got some here ready to go next time we do a project. All right, real quick here. This one is pretty old. This is a couple years old. I don't even know when we started this one. But this one has, again, different elements. This one is not just napkins. It has a few napkins in it, but not many. This one is more mixed media, collage, with color book pages. There may be 1 or 2 napkins in here, but this was before we made the napkin journal. So like you have collage bits, color book bits, painted bits. So again, it's a mixed media. This is like collage, and then this one doesn't have color book on it, but it's got cutouts. And so I'm going to do a quick flip out of this one. And this one's not done. I never have a problem with the page not being done. I just move on, come back, come back to it. All these giraffes are Creative Haven color book, and they were all like bunched up together on one page. I cut them apart and put them wherever I wanted. But again, do your coloring off book or out of your don't do it in the napkin journal. Do your coloring, then cut it out, and then add it too, because you don't want to have work on crunchy bits. And if you're working in a napkin journal or a mixed media, there's going to be collage bits and all kinds of things that's going to hinder your coloring. So do your coloring separate and then cut them out and add them to your pages. So this one's quite old. This one is quite old. Again, not done, bits done, some done. This girl's out of the look book. She's out of the look book with her little jean jacket. And then all this is paint and collage and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm just doing a quick flip. Color book images. This one's not done. This was from some fairies out of the fairy book, but we got collage bits, stencily bits, painted in bits, all that water. So again, I'm just going to do this quick. She's out of a color book. Color book, collage, dilution sprays and stencils. Some fairies out of a color book, and they have some stickles on their wings. So anyway, guys, I hope you kind of enjoy a quick flip through these things. Again, these are out of a Creative Haven fashion, like vintage fashion or something. She's out of the Creative Haven floral fashion, where all the clothes are made out of flowers. So it's just all random. She's from a steampunk book. Another steampunk girl. Not done. So you can see it's not done. This one's not even glued down. So they're like works in progress. This one's done. There's a steampunk couple, time travelers. Here's the little time travel door here. And there's our steampunk couple in our time traveling world. And there's some glasses. People were asking about glass, drawing, coloring glass. There's some steampunk green goggles. And see, look, I cut her arm off there. I just cut that off. I painted in, like there was more down here to them, but I just put paint right over them. So paint them in. This one's from 2015, so it is a couple years old. And probably the beginning of 2015. Because I know I've done at least 3 other journals since then. I don't usually do like dimensional stuff in these books, but Colleen sent me some tags and flowers and things. So I did a coffee page with the little bits that Colleen sent me. I think it was Colleen. And then that's a magazine girl. Oh, thanks, guys. I just thought I'd use up the rest of my time showing some updates and some flips and stuff of what we've done lately. There's another steampunk girl. I put peacock feathers on her. Not done, not done, not done. Just, it's all kinds of stuff just going on. This one's done. These are cut out of one of the Creative Havens, and the rest is collage and paint. Thanks, guys. Yeah, readdress them every now and then just to give you some more inspiration. This is a color book element. I haven't glued it down yet, but I put it on this page because of the colors. It went, if the colors just go. This one's done. Again, another time travel portal, and a girl with a the floral color book girls. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I just trying to get y'all some more inspiration. Don't ask. This was a kind of a fail page. Another flower cut out of a color book page. Stencils, stamps, collage. It's all mixed. This mixed media. Here's one that's done. Again, color book stuff and paint, mixed media. Loved watching you make the coffee page. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Oh, I think Hubster's home. Here's another one of the kimono girls out of a Creative Haven. Put her next to this angel. So yeah, guys, this is all in progress, in process. Bring the passion. That's about the last page there. So that's one of my, and this has got the faux leather on it. It's kind of hard to see. It's got the faux leather journal covers that I've done. So there's that one. And just real quick. Okay, I'm still streaming. I'll be done in just a minute. Real quick, I'll show you some of my quick sketchy people that I've drawn up from Sketchy. And again, these are like here. These are my Gold Rush guys in this one. Here's some of these are smaller, like on my small journal. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Let me stop real quick. Continue recording. Okay, guys, if y'all stay around for a minute, I'll finish showing you these, but it's telling me my time is up. So hang loose. Let me stop the recording and save it, and I'll be right back. Thanks for watching.